Welcome to Extraordinary League, an actual play RPG podcast brought to you by Smash Fiction. I'm Dan Mulkerin, your game master. Playing Stitch is Kit Mulkerin.
Aloha, cousins.
Playing Mordin Solus is Colin Mulkerin.
Can't talk now, trying to find any pre-existing studies on the optimal way to allocate karma as a player in the Marvel role-playing game. But it turns out no one cares about role-playing games published in 1984 anymore except us. We'll have to start running my own experiments. Time-consuming, but necessary. We'll get back to you shortly with my findings.
Playing Dante Sparta is Liz Logan.
You gave my coat a hole, you asshole!
Playing Sterling Archer is Miles Schneiderman.
Rampage!
Top-notch work, you guys. Top-notch. So previously, you had joined up with the other group of League members and had traveled across Jurassic Park in search of whatever it was that the Phyrexians had come to this world for, while at the same time knowing that Demona was in Castle Grayskull doing something that... Doing Demona things. As the scene opens, Archer is repelled partway down a cliff while a T-Rex does battle with Phyrexian scouts above. Mordin and Lara are on the rooftop of a low concrete building inside the compound that the Phyrexians have taken over. Stitch and his raptor are wearing charming grass skirts and doing the hula just outside the electric fence perimeter. And Dante, Roland, and Zero have just ridden an armored transportation vehicle through the electric fence and into the compound. So, there are currently 4 Phyrexian guards that are still posted in the compound that didn't run off to investigate the massive noise that Archer and the T-Rex were making. So there are 2 lanky Phyrexians with large glowing pits for mouths, and there are 2 burly gorilla-like Phyrexians. All 4 of these have immediately dropped into combat poses upon seeing the armored vehicle come roaring through the electric fence. Let's roll initiative.
Welcome.
All right, if anyone asks, how do you roll initiative again, I'm going to be very upset with them.
It's a D10 plus intuition.
The tens digit of your intuition.
And as I say every time, hey, you can write down like an initiative stat, which is what I always do, and then like have a little thing, intuition. It's like
I could, but I don't.
It's amazing that you're able to carry the weight of your own perfection as well as you do, Colin. All right, Kit, your 2 characters.
Oh shit, I have a raptor. 4 for Stitch.
Okay.
9.
Colin, your initiative.
7 for Mordin, 9 for Zero.
Okay. Who has the higher intuition between Zero and Stitch's raptor?
Probably Zero. Zero has good.
Oh yeah, intuition. Lace just has typical.
Okay. Miles or Liz, whoever's ready.
12 for Dante, 9 for Lara.
Nice. What's Lara's intuition, Liz?
Remarkable.
Okay, so she goes before Zero.
We actually both got 9.
Okay, great. What are your characters' respective intuitions?
Well, Roland's is incredible, so there's
Right.
that. Archer's is not incredible. It's was it remarkable, excellent, going down the line, good. No, not good. Typical. It is
Same
typical.
as a Velociraptor.
That's right.
Who has the higher agility between the raptor and Archer?
Excellent.
Remarkable,
All right.
motherfucker.
You can
Archer shouldn't be upset about that. Raptors are very smart. They're like as smart as like a golden retriever. So I mean,
That's actually kind of a favor to Archer, like a compliment.
Okay, so combat has started. However, there are 2 people in this combat that the opponents don't know about. That is, of course, Mordin and Lara. So Mordin and Lara get to act in the surprise round. Lara will be going first.
Hell yeah. We're on top of the building, right?
Correct.
I want to come up behind Mordin and pull out my guns and put them on either shoulder of Mordin and use them to stabilize and
Nice.
pull the trigger.
I like it.
Oh no.
That's some Fury Road shit right there.
We're deepening our relationship.
Absolutely.
By making him deaf.
Yes.
my shoulders are very pokey. Just be aware.
Oh yeah.
Lara, would you like to target one of the Phyrexians with the big glowing mouth, or one of the Phyrexians that has like the big gorilla-type build?
For the record, I thought the whole point of this was to create a distraction and to not give away our positions so that we could sneak in.
Guns are out. I'm sorry. I will.
Wonderful.
I will.
Mordin is like these fucking humans every time. We have a plan. We're gonna just go.
I want to shoot one of the tiny ones.
Okay, cool. Roll your shooting twice, and you have a -2 column penalty for each shot.
Hey, Dan?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the names of the Phyrexians we're looking at are, so I can look up their images?
Yes.
Okay.
You are fighting blinding soul eaters.
Man, these are all fucking metal band names.
Yep.
Oh god, they're horrifying. Okay, next.
The other one is an insatiable soul eater.
I got a green.
And your second shot?
That means a 1, so it's a white.
Yeah, okay.
00 and a 1 is a 1. Right?
That is a 1.
Good
Yep.
stuff.
Not a 100. So I missed that one.
Lara opens up and tears into one of the Phyrexians down below, shaving off some important-looking chunks of it, but it is still up and running. Mordin, you are up.
Is my position compromised? Can I still be stealthy, or?
It's
Lara's
totally
drawing a lot of
compromised.
attention to you right now.
Great. I guess we're fighting. I'll incinerate the one that Lara shot.
Cool.
That's a yellow.
That is
So-
a hit.
Cool. 40 damage, I believe. Oh, 30 damage. I'm sorry. Remarkable's only 30.
Very good. This thing is hit first by bullets and then by a streaking bolt of fire. It's not looking too good right now. All right, so that's it for the surprise round. That brings us to the top of the regular round with Dante, who is currently behind the wheel of the armored vehicle.
Oh god, this is a hard choice. Do I want to launch myself out of the vehicle and possibly kill my teammates, or do I want to continue driving the vehicle?
Liz,
I already kind of
I think you know what you want.
no. I already kind of fucked up Mordin, and I feel bad about it, so I will stay behind the wheel of the vehicle. And since I'm the best driver of the group, clearly, Archer can kiss my ass. I will try to crash into one of the thin ones and not much fatness one.
Sounds good. Why don't you roll me a driving check? So that'll be agility plus your vehicles.
I think Stitch is the best driver in the group.
No, do you have vehicles? Little
I do. He does.
Furball?
Don't you see him like hacking into ships like several times throughout the franchise?
That bitch can't even reach the pedals, man.
Yeah, but he manages, and damn, does he fly it good.
Oh, yellow.
Nice. And that guy utterly fails to dodge. Were you aiming for the injured one or the fresh one?
The fresh one.
Very good. You slam into this thing with however many tons of vehicle this truck has, and it knocks him off his feet, and he goes flying about halfway across the compound. He's getting up slowly and painfully, but definitely took a hefty amount of damage from that. We are back to Roland.
I am in the vehicle,
Correct.
is that right? And the vehicle just crashed through the fence.
It crashed through the fence and then kind of like Tokyo drifted into one of the ones with the big glowing mouths.
Okay, which are the
Blinding soul eaters.
the blinding
Please.
soul eaters, which are not nearly as terrifying as the insatiable
No,
ones.
please kill them.
Oh.
No, their eyes, they look into my soul. I can't. It's really hard for me to look at this picture of them.
Just because you have more sins than me, that's not my problem, kid.
Yeah.
He will take a shot at a wounded blinding.
So the door flies open, Roland steps out and raises the borrowed pistol.
Yes. All right. And that is a, let's see, +3 columns. That is a yellow.
Excellent. You have bullseyed it. Would you like to hit it anywhere in particular?
Left eye.
Yep.
That was for you, kid.
Nothing but net, right through the eye.
Oh god.
The
Swoosh.
The soul eater's head explodes and it falls over very, very dead.
Oh god, why does it look creepier now?
Cobb, bitch.
You shoot with your eye, and you also receive bullets with your eye, apparently.
Lara, it is your turn again.
I will take aim at the other injured one. Skinny one.
Okay.
Okay, it's not 100. 82.
I'm
Yellow.
just imagining Liz every time she rolls dice being like, well, that wasn't 100. Let's see what it is.
A yellow.
Were you shooting with both guns again?
Oh shit, yeah. Let me do a -2. It's still a yellow.
Okay, and your second shot?
Not a 100. Oh, but it's higher. 87.
I don't think it's higher. I somehow doubt it's higher.
Oh wait, then my previous
Then
roll.
the last one. We're
Aw.
not going all fucking episode 1 over this shit,
That almost
alright?
was a red, but it's still yellow. Both yellow.
Okay, Lara manages to pinpoint these things from across the compound, and the second blinding soul eater joins the first on the ground with holes in important parts.
Yay.
It is
Yeah,
Zero's turn.
Yay, 0. Yay, 0. Yay, 0. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, he doesn't have his sword. I forgot. Okay, I'm still excited. Less excited, but
So swords make you excited? I'll stop now.
Zero makes me excited for a whole host of reasons.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, Zero's going to hop out, and he's going to blast one of the insatiable soul eaters 3 times with his Z-Buster.
Outstanding.
23, 78, and a 95. So a white, a yellow, and a red.
Very good. You want to hit them anywhere in particular with the yellow and red?
I guess 1 in each butt cheek.
Strategically sound.
Yes. Because
What's
Zero has a thing about symmetry.
That's true. Oh man, the fact that he lost his hand must be driving.
I know. I was gonna get upset. Yeah, it's really funny.
what's,
He's considering ripping his other arm off to match.
Just the hand. Just the
What's
hand.
the damage on each of his energy bolts?
15 damage.
Very good. Archer, you are hanging off a cliff. What do you do?
All right, I will climb up and poke my head above the top of the cliff like a little badger.
Sure.
Maybe?
Mongoose?
Oh, I was-
Meerkat? Are those the same thing?
Shut the fuck up. I was thinking more like Danny Kaye in the Court Jester when he's inside the suit of
Hell
armor.
yeah, Danny Kaye and the Court Jester.
Oh man, Dan knows what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
You poke your head up like a prairie dog. What you see is scattered on the cliff face are the assorted body parts of what look like about half a dozen Phyrexians. Standing is a very injured-looking T-Rex, but she is still just as furious and determined as ever. And as you watch, she turns her head as if listening to something, opens her mouth in an ear-splitting roar, and then begins to stomp off in the direction of the compound.
We don't have like radios or anything, do we?
Definitely not.
No, if you recall,
No
if
form of
we had
communication.
radios, we wouldn't have to glint light off of a gun.
right. Yeah.
Communicate.
I used to have a flare, but used that. Well, I will climb up and make my way back toward the
All
compound.
right, cool. Archer is on his way through the jungle.
As fast as possible, as quickly
Very
as
good.
possible.
It is the Raptor's turn.
She's gonna hold for Stitch.
Okay, Raptor is holding. It's time for some insatiable soul eaters.
You sounded way too happy when you said that.
I mean, anytime I get to talk about something called insatiable soul eaters, like that's a genuine good day right there.
That's understandable.
Yeah. The one that Zero shot very symmetrically turns around, lets out this weird kind of challenging growl roar that kind of comes out like a metallic gurgle, and then just charges at Zero in this loping run on its knuckles. That is a hit, although Zero has a chance to dodge it, or he could try to block it.
He's dodging that.
All right.
Not when he rolls a 1.
Okay, yeah, not so much. So Zero is getting hit very solidly by this thing and takes 50 damage.
Oh, characters that don't have energy shields that regenerate. What's up with
Yeah,
that?
that's a real drag.
I'm like a freaking plebe.
And then the second one is going to be doing the same attack on Roland. However, Roland sees it coming and manages to duck around it as it charges past quickly but inexpertly.
Sounds like I didn't even need to. It just ran past me.
That may be correct. Roland may have just put a little English on it. It is now Mordin's turn.
Given the fact that both of the insatiable soul eaters have charged at people who are presumably not by the entrance, that means that the entrance is unguarded, right?
That is correct.
Cool. Can Mordin just drop down and start sneaking into the entrance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll say you don't even have to roll for that. They are suitably distracted that you can just do that.
Cool.
Mordin, as you touch down, you're right in front of the metal door that leads inside. You can see that right here the Phyrexians have set up one of the same analysis stations that you had encountered during your initial escape. So it's a transparent cube hooked directly into a computer monitor that's lined with the angular Phyrexian text. And you can see that inside this transparent box, they're currently analyzing what is clearly Zero's forearm and hand. And the hand is gripping a short cylindrical object in its robotic fingers. Lying on the table next to the analysis station are a pair of heavy-looking revolvers with wooden grips, still in their holsters attached to a pair of gun belts.
Gimme. So
that's what you're seeing right now. You can interact with those if you want, or you can head through the door, or you can do a little dance.
Given that it's probably going to take longer to attach the hands than just suit up with some guns. I'm going to grab the guns and head out.
Gimme!
I'm trying.
So are you heading into the building then? Or
no,
are
I'm heading back to the
okay.
league.
You grab the gun belts and turn and begin making your way back in the direction of where the battle is. Stitch, it is your turn. Your raptor is still on hold.
When the camera pans back over to Stitch and the raptor, Stitch is on the raptor, holding a large stick that he has fashioned into a lance.
Okay.
And off they go. Can the raptor make it to the Phyrexians in one round?
Yes.
All right. Charge!
Are you charging at the insatiable soul eater who has been damaged or the fresh one?
The damaged one.
Okay, so I'm going to say this is a combination charge attack from your raptor and melee attack from Stitch. So have your raptor make an endurance check.
Oh, that a girl. Yellow from her.
Okay, and a fighting check for Stitch.
Oh, shit!
100?
100!
Fuck you!
Yeah. Okay.
Nice job, Liz.
So
It was my energies. I
Yep.
sent them.
I'm just assuming that was. I'm calling you Liz now because that only Liz is allowed to do.
the world becomes a blur around Stitch as the raptor carries him across the battlefield. Everything is a blur, of course, except for his target, the large gorilla-like Phyrexian. It turns and looks at Stitch approaching, but sees what's coming far too late to do anything about it, and is impaled and nearly ripped in half by Stitch's blow, which kills it instantly.
Nice.
All right.
Charge.
Mordin, as you are running forward, you're about halfway between the entrance into the building and Roland, whom you're bringing the guns to. I assume you're bringing them to Roland. When you,
we'll
As
what's
do
he guns
I.
for me? I don't know. It depends.
Where you live, Colin.
everyone hears a couple of noises happen more or less at the same time. First of all, coming from the forest is a loud roar, which is not super close, but it's definitely getting closer. You can hear very heavy footsteps approaching, and you can see that the trees in the jungle are shaking as whatever this is grows nearer. Secondly, the metal door that Mordin almost entered opens, and there are 3 more Phyrexian creatures that emerge.
Can I have a chance to duck behind some cover before they spot me as the door is opening?
Yes, you had better initiative than them, so I will allow you to do so. These creatures are slightly shorter than a full-grown human, but their bodies are massively bloated and covered in an oily carapace. They have 2 long, spindly legs and 1 long, spindly arm, but where its right arm should be, instead has a long forward-facing drill, which is almost as long and wide as the creature itself is. They are called pith drillers, and there are 3 of them. Colin, you want to make a stealth roll for me? Agility plus stealth?
I got a green.
Okay, you've managed to duck behind one of the piles of rubble that was in the yard. You're not sure if they saw you or not. The third sound that you guys hear at this point is the sound of like machinery working. It kind of reminds you of a garage door opening, but like a really big one. You realize it's coming from the side building, which is off of the main building that you guys were trying to infiltrate. You hear the sound of more loud growling and heavy footsteps emerging from this building. So that brings us back to Dante.
So how many creatures are on the field now altogether?
There are 4 on the field. There's 1 insatiable soul eater, aka the big gorilla type ones, and there are 3 pith drillers.
Something like gorillas.
And, however, it sounds as though there's something big approaching from the jungle and something big which has emerged from that building in back of the concrete compound.
Okay, I have something complicated to do. I want to exit my vehicle as stylishly as possible while driving it very fast towards the garage that is now opening. As I exit the vehicle stylishly, I want to do a triple barrel roll and end up skidding across the pavement in a sexy pose that shows off my abs, and aim my guns at the gas tank and perfectly time it and ignite it and have it explode in front of the garage door. Also karma.
You better roll a fucking 100.
That's very impressive. Roll me agility with a bonus for acrobatics and shooting.
So I'm going to bring that up to a red. I'm just going to spend the karma for 100. So I'm karma poor now, guys.
Okay. Well spent, though.
Yeah.
The armored vehicle ignites into a fireball as Dante proves the Mythbusters wrong. And
Again, Mordin sticks his head out and goes, well, actually.
Yep. As this flaming vehicle barrels around the side of the building, you see it crash into what had emerged from the side building. This thing is very large. It has the profile of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but in many places is longer and sleeker. In several places, you can see that it has black Phyrexian metal plating on it, which has grown into large spikes. And its overall profile is kind of like skeletal and insect-like, in addition to being a dinosaur.
Is it a Tyrannosaurus Phyrex?
Oh, that's good. That's
All
very
right.
good.
I'm leaving. See you guys. I'm out. Hope you guys have fun next time without me.
And every time after that?
Yeah, peace.
Dante, you hit this thing basically square on with the flaming and now exploding vehicle. It opens its mouth and lets loose a roar that sounds equal parts organic and monstrous, but also sort of like electronic feedback. And it turns its beady, skull-like eyes in your direction and begins to walk at a pace that doesn't seem hurried, but seems to be covering an awful lot of ground very quickly. It is now Roland's turn.
Oh, I thought he was gone. Thought he was gone forever. No, please don't come back, Miles. We need your curmudgeon to balance out our derpy.
Fine. All right, so who has my guns?
Mordin does. And Mordin
Where
is
is
currently
Mordin?
hiding behind a pile of rubble.
You idiot.
I will say that Mordin is within plain view of Roland.
Can I see that he has my guns?
I will leave that up to you.
Well, then yes, and I run toward him to fetch
To
them.
give away his position once again, every plan
Correct.
that Mordin makes, someone
That's
goes,
right,
Hey,
that's
hey,
right.
Mordin, what you
Hey,
doing
you,
hiding back
hey.
here?
Between Lara, Archer, Dante, and now Roland, Mordin really doesn't like gun-wielding humans. Roland, you run up, and unless Mordin has any particular objections, I will say you now have your father's guns.
I remember his face as well.
Well, let's see about that, for your father's
All right.
sake.
Indeed. All right, so I will open fire.
All right, so you have a couple of targets. You can target the Insatiable Soul Eater, you can target the Pith Drillers, or you can
Pith
target
Drillers.
the giant thing that came out.
Does the giant thing that came out appear hostile?
Given that Dante just set it on fire, yeah, it's pretty dang hostile.
I'll go with that.
All right, so you turn your guns on the big one and begin to fire. Roland can fire both guns without penalty.
Well then.
Has anything Phyrexian ever been the least bit friendly? I mean, maybe we started it.
It's a
I don't
solid point.
know. Yeah, maybe they were like genuinely concerned about us. Then they were like healing us or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So now plus 3 CS, that means columns up, right?
Right.
Like, okay.
Yeah, I believe he fires on Unearthly.
So I got a white and a red.
Excellent. Roland basically, hits this thing like right in the neck. It's not quite as effective as would be strictly ideal.
His guns do more damage, right, than the puny little pistol he was using, I would think.
Yes. You knock a decent chunk out of this thing, but it's not slowing down. Lara.
Where am I in relation to the Tyrannosaurus Phyrexian?
First of all, if Colin said it, then can we all just say it? Like, it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Let's just...
Lara, you're probably the closest out of everyone to it right now, because you were on top of the building when it emerged from that back building.
Oh my god, that's so bad. Tactical retreat.
Okay.
Where's Stitch and the raptor?
We're like in the melee with the Phyrexians. I have a big one on my lance.
Yeah, so they're on the ground in the forward part of the compound.
Can the raptor carry a 120-pound woman as well?
I mean, there's one way to find out.
I am going to hop on the raptor.
Okay, make a strength plus athletics check. Or actually, no, she doesn't have athletics. I'll say strength plus 1 for her. Yellow. Okay. So Lara does an amazing dive leap, which turns into a front flip and ends up with her landing on top of the raptor.
Like sitting behind Stitch.
Kit, what is the raptor's strength?
Oh god.
Excellent.
It's probably like his personality. He's really understanding.
His stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a her.
So apparently,
I think
the
his main weakness is that he just tries too hard, you know? He's too
much
hard
of
on himself.
a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So apparently, the raptor is more than capable of supporting both Stitch and a British treasure hunter. Lara is now also mounted. It is Zero's turn.
Somewhere he feels his hand calling to him.
Hey, phrasing.
It's like, that was my favorite. We had such good times together.
Hey, phrasing.
I think he's going to take 3 more shots at the Tyrannosaurus Phyrex.
Sounds good.
That is a yellow and green and white. So again, 2 hit.
Very good.
Oh, even number. Oh, God. So good.
You managed to hit this thing, but again, it's not slowing down. It just keeps on coming. It is now Archer's turn. Archer has reached the edge of the compound. At this same point, the Tyrannosaurus Rex has reached the edge of the compound. Everyone sees the T-Rex emerge from the jungle. It very quickly surveys the scene, seems to spot the large mutated Phyrexianized dinosaur, and lets out a roar which you would almost swear is pained and anguished.
Aw.
And then
Aww.
just begins to charge forward.
Aww.
Where's
but
the
it is-
Jurassic Park banner that we need to fall strategically?
Well, that's what I'm using.
It's already being used as the.
It's Lace's like.
Let
It's
it
the
let
bridle.
it be free, Kit. Just let it go.
When I
Oh,
get
you
another, like,
upgraded? You upgraded from the ladle? The ladle?
Oh yeah.
Excuse me?
It's how am I supposed to control, like, consistently control an animal with just a ladle? Be reasonable.
It doesn't
Ladle.
even exist.
I'm using it as a boomerang now. Well, kind.
It is Archer's turn.
You know what? I'm just not even gonna like start shooting or anything. I'm just gonna kind of wander up, be like, okay, so what's going on here? So I met a T-Rex, you guys. It chased me almost off a cliff. It actually chased me off a cliff, but then I climbed back up because I'm super badass.
Which character are you delivering these lines to?
Well, Stitch is kind of standing
Who's
there.
nearby?
Stitch is right there. I don't know. If
I mean, Stitch is nearby, Roland is nearby, Zero's nearby. Pretty much everyone is scattered somewhere on ground level in the compound.
I mean, them. I'm basically
Yeah.
saying in a loud voice. You know,
yeah,
it's
he's,
like,
All right.
he's been known to address the group.
Roland lets out a loud and annoyed cry at you saying, "Shoot something for your father's sake!"
well, Jesus, you don't have to be an asshole about it.
Does that trigger Archer all of his daddy
Yeah.
issues? Does he start
Right.
thinking about that?
I don't know
Yeah,
my
basically.
father's face.
It triggers my Burt Reynolds issues. All right, so I shoot something.
All right, what would you like to shoot and with what?
A Phyrexian and a gun.
I'm gonna go with the drill things.
Okay, what gun are you using?
I'm gonna go with the assault rifle.
Cool, go for it.
That is a yellow.
Very good. You want to hit any more in particular?
I would love to like shatter the drill, but that's probably not gonna happen.
Well, let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, that does not happen, unfortunately. You bury some bullets in some soft bits. It is the insatiable Soul Eater's turn, and it is going to continue to pound Zero into a robot-y paste. That is a very solid hit, and Zero takes 50 damage.
Dang, Zero's down to 20.
It is now the T-Rex's turn, not the T-Phyrex, but the T-Rex. The T-Rex charges across the area and basically begins to lay into the Phyrexianized dinosaur. And she takes a big bite out of the dinosaur's side. Mordin, it is your turn.
I'm still in the compound behind some stuff. The drill people, did they see me? What's going on with all that?
It's kind of too soon to tell. They're heading in your direction, but you're not sure if they're heading toward you specifically or toward like someone else who's in the area.
Mordin's aware that these Phyrexians aren't terribly smart, so I think he's gonna jump in the middle of the 3 of them and just hold and maybe try to taunt them and get them to swing at him and see if he can get them to like hit each other.
Okay.
I imagine that there's like 3 of them traveling in like a little triangle, basically.
Yeah, they're kind of traveling in like a wedge shape. You leap in their midst. You're taking the evade action, so that means that when they attack you, you'll have to make a fighting check and then may be able to redirect their attacks. Normally that's not what evade does, but I like cool cinematic stuff happening, and this seems to fit the bill. The Phyrexian dinosaur turns on the T-Rex, lets out another weirdly mechanical roar, and bites. It sinks its jaws into the already weakened T-Rex's neck and gives a vicious twist. You all hear a snap that's like a thunderclap as the T-Rex's neck breaks. and it slumps to the ground dead.
Aw,
No, why?
that sucks.
What god would let this happen?
What god would let dinosaurs
God.
die? Oh, wait.
The real question is, can I make a leather coat out of it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you betcha.
It is now Stitch's turn.
That's gonna. Oh, do it, Dante. We cannot waste the animal. Use the whole animal.
Yeah, and it's got to have some, armor protection, right? Right.
Like the Skyrim dragon armor. Just use all that shit. The last thing Laura did was land on the rafter, right?
Correct.
Okay, so just gonna like turn his head around to look up at her, give 2 cute blinks before he awkwardly gives this toothy smile and is like, "Hi." How many Phyrexians are left?
There's 1 insatiable soul eater and 3 pith drillers, and then the big dinosaur.
Any of those are injured?
The big dinosaur and 1 of the pith drillers are injured.
In the drill.
In the drill.
Well, Stitch doesn't think small.
That was me. I shot it in the drill.
Stitch is gonna go for the biggin.
All right. Charging forward again, I take it with your lance.
Yes, but he's got a big ol' Phyrexian on the end, so now it's a club.
Liz, is Laura staying on the rafter for this journey into madness?
It's not her turn to decide.
Yes.
All right.
obviously.
We're gonna do a drive-by.
You spur your raptor forward, past the insatiable soul eater, past the pith drillers, and she says, "Well, surely you're not thinking of... Oh, dear God." Once again, roll a charge attack for your raptor, and then if that hits, a fighting check for Stitch.
Isn't she a thrill seeker? Shouldn't she just be like really into this?
I mean, I'm not saying she's not into it. She's just a little surprised is all.
I gotcha.
The raptor failed the charge. It's not feeling the Frex so much.
All right, so
But
you don't get to roll
Okay.
Stitch's attack if the raptor misses,
alright.
because I'm combining your damage, which will overcome body armor.
oh, I got you.
The Phyrexian dinosaur sees you coming and lashes out with its spiked tail, and the raptor has to quickly adjust its course in order to not get utterly broken apart on the ground. The pith drillers are acting now. They're going to be attacking Mordin. So, Mordin, why don't you make 3 fighting checks for me?
Cool. I got a yellow, and then I got 2 whites.
Okay. You're ducking and dodging around these things' drills, and you manage to time a forward shoulder roll with perfect precision, enough so that one of the pith drillers brings up its drill to hit you, and instead buries it deep inside the one that Archer had already damaged, and drops it. You are momentarily and uncharacteristically taken up with a bout of celebration, and this proves to be folly as the 2 remaining pith drillers are able to get a beat on you.
Isn't there only 1 remaining? Because one of them died.
One of them died, but there were 3.
Yeah, and then one of them attacked and killed the one.
Yeah, that was Flavor. Oh, no, I guess you're right. No, I guess you're right. I'm not gonna... Yeah, I won't do that to you. Well, as
So
it
one
turns
attacked,
out...
one is dead.
As it turns
Damn,
out,
I would have struck him with lightning for a comment like that. The
I
Know
importance of it.
your place, player.
That's right.
as it turns out, the one who was going to attack and didn't rolled a red on his attack. So
Okay.
you dodged a bullet there. In a more real sense, dodged a drill because the other 2 don't hit you. So yeah, you're good. You're good on that.
Well, cool.
We are back to the top with Dante.
I want to run over to the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Does it have short little arms too? Yeah.
Its arms are pretty long.
Ah,
Oh,
the Phyrexians fixed its one flaw.
That's right.
damn.
They actually look cybernetic.
I want to maneuver to get on top of like the tail, but like close to the base of the body, and
Okay.
then stab it in the butt.
That sounds entirely possible.
Like up the cloaca.
Yeah.
Robot cloaca.
Yeah.
Let's see how you do.
Fighting?
Please. With a bonus for your close combat sharp weapons or edge weapons or however.
Red.
No, 100, 100, 100. And I didn't get a 100, but I got a 92, so that'll do.
That's a red.
It is?
With your level of fighting.
It is! Oh my god.
You drive your sword in very solidly into this thing's hindquarters. You're not sure what exactly you're piercing, but boy, are you piercing it.
The command center.
The
Strategically
command center.
placed at the butt instead of the
Yep.
head, because who would stab something like that in the butt? Except Dante.
As long as Dante
Except
Sparta
Liz.
doesn't attack us, we should be good. What's the damage on your sword?
Strength plus 12.
I just want to tell our listeners that this is what Liz does every game.
Yep.
She tries to find a way to stab something up the ass.
Straight to the butt.
I mean, who expects it? Who expects to get stabbed at the sphincter?
Yeah,
No
it's like
one.
the Spanish Inquisition. It is now Roland's turn.
I will shoot it.
Go for it.
Again, multiple times. That is a yellow,
Okay.
and that is a white, because I can't roll for shit.
Where would you like your yellow to hit?
In the butt.
I was actually thinking about it, like, following up, right?
Oh,
Dante's
God.
opened up a nice, convenient wound down there.
Oh, God.
Let's go for, like, the leg, like the knee.
Okay.
I just want to point out the potential disgusting implications of the sentence, where do you want your yellow to hit?
Thanks, Colin. Thanks.
How well do you have to roll to write your name with it?
Colin, I was this
Colin.
close to being able to
Colin.
remove myself.
If I was running this game, you would have been dead so many times already. You would have been dead just for saying that.
Roland's bullet does find its target. It is not sufficient to break the bone of this thing, but it definitely hurts quite a bit. Lara, it is your turn.
First, I'm going to scoff at the raptor for being a... No, I'm going to scoff at Stitch for being such a shitty jouster. And I am going to do a really cool, like, flurry with my weapons and level it at Tyrannosaurus Rex, and also shoot it in the knee.
Cool, go for it.
Oh, God. Oh! That still manages to be a green.
Okay, and your second attack?
Yellow.
All right, you don't quite manage to hit it in the knee with either shot. However, you are tearing up quite a bit of meat from this thing. It doesn't look happy at all about that.
Run
Zero.
away, raptor. Run away.
Yeah, I think he's going to just fire 3 more shots off at the T-Phyrex. Well, first of all, actually, the thing he needs to do is he needs to pause and activate his sub-tank to heal his life. Does that take up his turn? Because, I mean, technically, while the screen's paused, time isn't passing, you know?
It does take up his turn to use his sub-tank, yes.
Oh.
Archer.
I'll take another shot at the pit drillers.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, great. Shooting in the air.
Rampage, sir. Rampage.
There you go. The insatiable soul eater is going to keep attacking Zero, who he's very offended that Zero seems to have forgotten all about him. He remembers a time when he was the scariest thing on the battlefield. Even more,
Those times are done.
Zero, even more infuriatingly, manages to avoid the large, clumsy fists swatting at him. And that brings us to Mordin.
I'll neural shock one of them.
One of the pith drillers?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that's a big ol' white.
Oh, nice. Instantly incapacitated.
Sweet, they're taken out.
Cool.
The Phyrex looks down at Dante, who's
Stop it.
clinging to his tail, opens up his mouth horrifyingly wide, and snaps down with some really, really terrifying looking jaws. Dante, that's going to be a hit, but you can try to dodge or block it if you wish.
Dodge. Green.
That is all you needed. You managed
Yes.
to vault and backflip off of this thing as its jaws snap down a split second later at the exact spot where you just were. Stitch.
Stitch gets an idea. Seeing this thing snapping its jaws, he narrows his little eyes and he tucks his ears back. He snaps his lance in 2, discards the part that has the Phyrexian stuck to it. He don't need that shit.
Okay.
It's not serving him. He's going to pull his raptor over and try and time this thing's attempts at snapping at Dante so that he can jump into the mouth and use the piece of the lance that he has to prop its mouth open.
Ah, Rancor style.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting that soft flesh. So if it tries to close its mouth on the lance bit, it's just going to hurt itself. And this will hopefully keep its mouth open so you guys can shoot into it and avoid the body armor.
Oh, that's brilliant. Make an agility roll in order to get in and out of the mouth quickly enough and also...
I don't know, I kind of want to stay in there. Fuck it. No, I should probably get out. It's like a cocky.
You can do whatever you want, man. That's the beauty of RPGs.
I think Stitch can get digested by a T-Rex and be just fine. So.
I have escape artist.
Does that apply to the mouths of dinosaurs?
The bellies? I think so. I didn't claw his way out. But anyway. I'm going to use karma for this one. Agility, you said?
Yes.
That's going to be a red.
Yep. It happens exactly as you say. You jump and scramble your way up this thing, get into its mouth, plant the broken stick in such a way that it lodges painfully and annoyingly in this thing's mouth. And suddenly this thing looks kind of dumb with its mouth just hanging open as you scramble out.
Kit, I have only one way to salute you for that.
Oh, what is it? Can I have some?
It's a fortune cookie, and no.
Oh no, I really want one now.
What's your fortune?
I don't know. I'll tell you in a minute.
Whatever it is, apply it to Archer, please.
While we wait on that suspenseful reveal, it is the raptor's turn.
I'm gonna just set her to evade.
Okay.
Stitch just jumped out of the mouth back onto her, and now she's evading with
You reach over and
and
adjust the knob to evade on the raptor.
Mordin, you have made an enemy this day as the remaining pith driller has sworn to take you out. Well, it definitely hits you. I don't know if it's going to get through your shield. So it hits you and deals 20 damage.
Oh, 20 damage. Whatever shall I do with 20 damage? Oh, wait. My force field blocks 40 bitches.
Okay. This thing is attempting to drill through your shield, but fails to. And it is very disappointed that you don't get to see the cool thing it does when it drills you.
I can guess.
Aww.
We are back to the top with Dante.
I want to throw Rebellion, lightsaber throw style, into its mouth.
Roll your
Oh,
agility.
Liz, you have no karma.
That's okay.
Roll your
I have
agility.
a little bit, but I'm okay.
So roll your agility with a bonus for if you have ranged combat thrown weapons, which I don't think you do, but you can roll your agility.
He's got badassery though.
Sure does.
That's all you need.
Holy shit. My rules are so on point. That's a red.
Yeah.
You cock back your arm and hurl Rebellion. It spins end over end, passing cleanly between the jaws of the dinosaur. A second later, about 3 feet of its blade emerges from the top of the dinosaur's head. The dinosaur takes one shaky step, then another, and then falls to the ground, a large pool of glistening black blood forming under its head. The dinosaur is down.
Damn.
And given that you guys are down to 1 insatiable soul eater and 1 pith driller, and there are 8 of you, I'm going to go ahead and call this fight and say that you easily managed to dispatch the remaining enemies.
Can we say that when the rest of the league enters the compound, they see that I have laid the pith driller out on one of the tables and I'm performing an autopsy
Oh
on it?
god. Oh god.
That sounds entirely appropriate.
All right.
Archer brings out a small piece of paper. Get to the nitty gritty of things in all dealings. Hey, can I do that autopsy?
I really want to know if he just have a fortune cookie on it this whole time.
I actually carried them on me, like, just in case, you need the advice. Especially in bed, because you're supposed to,
It's kind of a pain in the ass for your stealth, I imagine.
Ew.
I've come up with, like, several new techniques because of... Anyway, moving on.
So Stitch is gonna move his raptor over to Dante and hold out his little fist for a fist bump.
And be like, yeah! Bump.
It pains me to say this about somebody that's not me, but that was totally ninja.
Zero, I'm imagining, reclaims his forearm and Z-Saber from the analyzer, and is now that much more awesome.
I gotta say, I was upset that he didn't have the sword, but I think not having it has really made me appreciate it more.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you love your, Z-Saber, let it go. I guess.
Yeah, you have to let it go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's not going to do that. He's going to cling onto it for dear life.
Of course. Never again.
Never again.
The interior of this building has 2 floors, although the higher floor is at ground level and the lower floor is set into the ground. So the upper floor features numerous large windows along the walls for watching the yard, which explains why the pith drillers inside were able to see you and run outside. There's also several tables which have been cleared of whatever their native contents were and replaced with Phyrexian computers and devices, and in one case, a deceased pith driller, which is very quickly being cut into by our resident physician, Mordin Solus. In the center of the floor is a large open space lined with a railing, which looks down into the lower floor. The lower floor is dominated by 4 small glass-walled laboratories, or rather there were 4 glass-walled laboratories. Only 2 of them are still intact. The other 2 were demolished and cleared away to make room for a larger rough-walled hole that's been drilled into the ground. That's the area. There's this kind of upper floor area, and if you want to take the ladder down into the lower floor, there's the laboratories, there's the big old hole, or you can, again, do whatever it is that floats your particular boat.
So, whiskey?
There are no visible creatures on the lower level?
No, this place is empty. It looks
Okay.
like whatever was in here emptied out in order to fight you guys and is now lying dead in the yard, or in one case again, on the makeshift autopsy table.
I'm going to use my grappling gun to rappel down into the hole.
Right next to the perfectly serviceable ladder, I assume.
Naturally,
Okay.
yes, of course.
Yeah, sounds
Cool.
good. So you're on the
I think
floor.
Zero's gonna head down with him. Mordin's gonna stay up the top. I think he's getting wrapped up in his work. He's kind of forgotten about the outside world for a moment.
Okay, sure.
He really wants to
Roland
figure out like
will
what the power
generally-
sources that they have on this thing. He's got so many questions about the biology of
Oh,
these.
yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Stitch is gonna stealth over to Mordin.
Okay.
Shit. Roland is going to generally investigate.
Okay, he's looking around with his gunslinger's
Yeah.
eye.
Mhm.
Yellow.
Yeah, you've snuck up right behind Mordin.
From the camera's point of view, Mordin is hunched over a table, and Stitch's little like face kind of pokes up. He is gonna try and get that thingy.
What,
What
the
thingy?
GDC?
Yes, the DDC.
Oh,
Okay.
What did you think was happening?
oh,
Yeah.
can I roll perception to try to counter this? See if I can
You
notice
may.
it? Oh, I rolled a mighty 6.
You are way into that autopsy. You are elbows deep.
Stitch, you grab the DDC off of Mordin's belt. Archer and Zero, and also Roland, who has made his way down. You guys can see that on the lower floor. First of all, it looks as though inside one of those glass-walled laboratories, one of the ones that actually survived, it looks as though the Phyrexians had grabbed and begun to experiment on a nest of dinosaur eggs. Most of them have become too corrupted and broken, and the embryos have died, but it looks as though one of the eggs might actually still be viable. Secondly, the thing that you guys are seeing on this lower floor is that the pith drillers have apparently burrowed a 10-foot diagonal hole into the bottom floor of the facility.
You said there was like one surviving egg, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna say like Lace goes up to it.
Are you there?
Well, this is the dinosaur.
Yeah,
Is the dinosaur there?
I guess.
Dinosaur climb a ladder?
she can jump. She's a clever girl. I'm gonna say she's gonna poke around, like see the egg, sniff, poke.
Okay.
Generally interested in it,
All right.
like a good female.
Is that like sniffing but Jewish? Sniff?
Yep. Yeah.
Do you want to find out any information about it, or?
Well, no, Lace is not gonna find any
Yeah.
information about it, but she's just showing interest and will perhaps begin to display like a little bit of protectiveness
Okay.
over it.
Yeah. So Lace is hanging out near the one remaining viable dino egg. Anyone else wish to do anything?
I'm gonna go over to the egg and be like, "Oh, sick! I didn't eat breakfast this morning."
Yeah. I imagine Lace is not gonna like
Yeah, that doesn't go over well.
gonna growl and
Archer and Roland are both ignoring the egg and investigating the excavation.
Cool. As Dante and the raptor begin to argue over the merits of think of the children versus think of the omelets. Archer and Roland descend into the hole. Picking their way down, they can see that set into one of the walls at the very bottom of the hole is a smooth metal plate. It's about 2 feet by 2 feet.
I can't help but notice your comment about my father, and
oh.
I'm just, you didn't ever with my mother, did you?
He looks utterly befuddled at what you're saying.
Okay, just making
And
sure.
he says, is it common for those of your land to never reach the point that they seem to be dancing about?
What?
Yes.
He cuts deep, that Roland.
That was very Deshaney of you, sir.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, so set into one of the walls at the bottom of this hole is a smooth metal plate. It's about 2 feet by 2 feet. It's not the organic black metal of Phyrexia. It looks just like, steel or iron or something like that. It looks as though the Phyrexians were just beginning to try to excavate whatever this thing is when they were interrupted by your attack on their facility.
Archer pokes it.
All right, feels metal.
Feels metal.
Roland affixes you with his glance, which is utterly unreadable.
Zero is going to start walking down the hole. I imagine it's pretty steep. You can still walk down it. Hey, fellas, who has 2 thumbs and a sword which can cut through anything?
I don't know, but we better get to work on excavating this thing. Archer pulls out a grenade.
You know, when you said anything, for some reason I was like, even the Portuguese language? I mean, how crazy are we getting?
Yeah,
here?
you think about how wrong your decision was in that episode, kid. You just think more about that.
Oh, I'm not wrong. I'm just saying.
All right, so are we grenading this thing out? Are we Z-sabering this thing out?
I mean, unless anybody's stopping me.
Unless Carmen Sandiego has stolen Zero.
I'm pulling the pin.
Okay.
No, Zero wants to stop you. He has a sword.
Both of you roll initiative.
Aw, I got a 5.
Yeah, Zero got a 11.
Stupid low intuition.
So Zero swings his newly reclaimed Z-saber and cuts a clean, glowing hole out of the side of this. What they discover is that the object is a metal cube. It's about 2 feet by 2 feet, and then it's about 8 inches deep. As you pick it up, you can see that there's a very slight seam running all along the narrow edge of it.
I open it. I open it.
All right. Archer immediately grabs it and pries it open. Inside, you can see a tome.
Oh, no. Tomes are never good.
This book looks very old, but it's quite well preserved. The covers appear to be made out of smooth gray stone and are marked with a symbol. It looks like a stylized upraised hand with 5 finger-like points raised upward and a single downward point.
Just a book? That's lame.
I'm guessing I know what it was. I was hoping it was a certain tome.
It's just a book, guys. Don't worry about it. Apparently, the Phyrexians are dumber than we thought and really needed to read one.
Dante, you are halfway through your second of 3 points as to why you deserve to eat this egg in your argument with the raptor. When something suddenly goes off in your head and you realize that that powerful magical object that you were sensing below this structure has been removed and is like out.
What is it, Faulkner? Hemingway?
Oh, definitely
Hopefully not McCarthy. I'm over that.
The most powerful magic of all is the human imagination.
Boo.
Reading Rainbow.
Do I know where everyone else is?
Yeah, I mean, you saw them presumably peripherally enter into that tunnel that Stitch and Mordin are still on the upper level. Yeah.
No, Stitch just snuck away.
Okay.
He's getting back to the raptor.
You're aware of where everyone is, Dante.
I need to go quickly down into the tunnel.
Okay. So yeah, you see Roland, Zero, and Archer standing down here looking at a book, which you can tell is the artifact you've been sensing.
Oh my god, that's where my journal is. Stay away from it. You don't want to read that shit.
You know, the way you play Dante makes me wonder, is he like bullshitting everyone or does he really believe the shit he says? I don't want to ever find out the answer.
Roland says, is this then that which we seek, which our enemy has sought as well?
It's a goddamn deck, isn't it?
If they're looking for sex tips, then yes, but no.
We need to be on our way. The traitor even now is running loose inside our base.
You mean she might be in our base? Killing our dudes? And making all of them belong to her?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What? Oh, terrible.
Oh, come on! That was not obscure.
That was
No,
good.
it was terrible, though.
Well, that's
No, I
payback
loved
for
it.
all of you.
I get to carry my journal. I pick up my journal.
Stitch at this point has made it back to Lace and sees the egg and ears are perked up all curious and then looks up at Lace. New cousin?
Alright, we have to get to the extraction point, guys. Now is the time to get to the extraction point, grab Dante's stupid Aryan journal, and,
Hey, it's mine. I have it.
I know, and it's about how much you hate Jewish people, and there's nothing wrong with that.
God.
Where's the part about your final solution? I'm curious as to what occurs when Mordin reaches for the DDC in order to find the extraction point, and once again finds that it's very conspicuously gone.
I doubt Stitch is doing anything to hide the fact that he's holding it.
Yeah, no, he's just using his extra set of arms to hold it and then also the egg.
Oh, so you're taking the egg with you?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a new
I guess
cousin.
so. Mordin's gonna file that information away for later, but not visibly react.
Wait. We are not taking that thing with us.
It's at this point that
The egg.
Mordin notices the egg, and his head turns.
No.
It's like, he wipes the Phyrexian fluids off of his hands and says, would you mind if I take a look at that?
All right, look, you can't have both the nice things.
Okay, Stitch looks up at Archer, going from really aggressive at Mordin to like suddenly like really sad puppy dog eyes. Ears pulled really back. You can't even see the ears. They're so far pulled back. Eyes so big. And he's like, Hana.
That might work on people who cares.
And then he goes back to growling.
No, that's fine. But look, God damn it. First of all, if you're gonna have it, then be useful with the DDC. Find the extraction point, if you even know how. I've seen you toss dinosaurs around. Surely you're capable of manipulating crappy technology.
He looks down at the DDC and
No?
and then he looks
Really?
he looks slowly back up at Archer and starts booping without looking at the DDC.
Okay. No, just give it to me. Give it to me or I'm gonna shoot the egg.
Whoa, that is not the way to Stitch's heart.
I point a pistol at the egg.
Wow. Mordin points a gun at Archer.
That's fine.
Stitch looks super surprised at Mordin and then hands the DDC over to Mordin.
Nice. Nice.
I shoot the egg.
What?
Yay, omelets!
I really like the idea of, like, if this was a comic, Dante in the background. Little word bubble. Yay, omelets.
So, Archer, are you shooting the egg?
Yes.
Okay.
Stitch is gonna try to react to, like, basically put his body between the bullet and the
Okay.
egg.
Archer, make a shooting roll. Stitch, I'm gonna say make a dodge roll.
Yeah, karma, fuck it. Oh, I rolled 100. I didn't even need to.
Okay. How did you do, Archer?
Oh, I got a white.
Okay,
So
great.
you didn't need to spend any of that karma.
All right. So you fire.
But you spent 10 of it anyway.
Yes, I did.
So you fire. Stitch immediately turns and deflects the bullet off of his own body. The egg is safe.
Oh, for Christ's sakes!
Can we say that Mordin's gonna put his hand on the back of Archer's neck and neural shock him?
So Miles, you may make an endurance check.
I'll make the endurance check.
Go for it.
My endurance is excellent. Ha! That, ladies and gentlemen, is what Liz would refer to as a 100.
Shit.
Okay. So
Oh, he's too boozed up.
basically
There's no
you
nerves left.
No, it's a 1.
Okay.
Oh,
Aw,
oh,
douche.
it's the.
So it's a Liz 100, a 1
Yeah.
and 2 zeros, right?
It's 100.
That's why I said it.
Ah.
So Archer slumps bonelessly to the ground as Mordin neuroshocks him into blessed oblivion.
Oh no! Does that mean his hangover is like finally gonna catch up to
Oh
him?
no.
No, please, God, no.
That's a good like 15 years worth of hangover that he's just been like running
I
in
think
front
I'm
of.
the only one being rational here about bringing this fucking Phyrexian thing back to our base, but whatever, do what you want.
All right.
I really like the idea of Archer's like coldness being
Yeah.
really rational, and like everyone has too much heart to be rational.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Mordin does not want to keep this thing alive for heart at all. He wants to study
was-
it.
For the
He doesn't
record,
want
I-
to shoot it because it offers so much. There's so
I
much
was
to learn
gonna
about
try
it.
and shoot it whether Kit gave me the DC or not. So
The DDC leads all of you, and I'm including in this Archer's unconscious body, which I imagine someone is carrying.
Roland will carry.
There you
it. Roland sees some of Cuthbert in Archer.
He certainly does.
Oh, will majestically Princess carry him back?
So the DDC leads you out of the Phyrexians' compound and up a narrow pass up through the jungle. The way is very steep, but not particularly long. And after only a few minutes of hard travel through the close green confines of the jungle, you emerge into a stunning view overlooking the island itself. The primal power and glory revels defiantly against mankind's attempts to tame it. You can see leather-winged creatures circling slowly in the air above a herd of powerful but placid herbivores drifting serenely across a pasture. For a moment, the intense and lethal struggles against the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park and also the invaders of Phyrexia are forgotten as you just sort of look upon this sight. However,
Yeah, I'm bored. Let's.
okay. Mordin, you remember that the DDC is not intended for groups this large and it has to be overcharged in order to take this many people with it. Thankfully, this is much easier than it was atop the London Eye, as you don't have to worry about getting eaten by Phyrexians right this second. So you take the time it needs, you appropriately adjust and overcharge the DDC. It snaps open and a bubble of crackling, tingling white light springs out and surrounds you. You experience the now familiar feeling of falling in every direction at once, and then the hot and humid air of Jurassic Park is replaced with the cool, dry air of the interior of Castle Grayskull.
I believe you mean the fiery, ash-filled air of Castle Grayskull.
Well, we're getting to that. Two things happen pretty much immediately. The first thing is that Archer wakes up at the sudden dimension travel. The second thing is that Stitch's raptor immediately begins to freak out at this at this change in environment. So
like a cat in a car.
Yeah.
In the car.
So
oh, holy shit, are we there already? What happened?
So Stitch, if you want to get her to calm down, you'll either have to make a psyche check to try to like soothe her, or a strength check to muscle her into submission.
I'm gonna strike.
Okay.
That's the easier one for me. Yellow. He's just gonna like try to hold on to her until she finally kind of wears down.
Yeah, it takes a little while, but you essentially present her with no opportunities other than just calming the hell down, and she eventually kind of settles down under your strength and your weight. You guys are in the arrival room of Castle Grayskull. At the moment, it doesn't look like anything is super amiss. What do you do?
Mordin's going to raise a finger to his lips, indicating silence, and look around the room at everyone.
Oh, God, I've got a massive headache. Where's the bar? Anyone? We did this trip fast. I don't even remember, like, the journey.
Sure is a good thing I shot that egg, though.
As soon as he sees it, he's going to be like, what?
I guess Mordin's going to start stealthing around the corners and kind of, like, attempting to make his way around the castle and see what's going on.
Okay. Are you looking for anything or anyone in particular?
How close are we to the lab?
Fairly close. It's not too terribly far from the arrival room.
That would probably be his first stop, because that's where like a lot of the important stuff is. So I guess there. He's not really gesturing towards anyone to follow him. He like maybe gives like a little bit of like a half-hearted wait here, knowing that most people are probably not going to listen to him at this point. So
okay.
Stitch is gonna scamper onto like Mordin's back.
Okay. Is everyone else going with Stitch and Mordin?
Sure.
Dante?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Well, you can abandon stealth at this point then.
Yeah. So all of you,
Me and Dante are just trying to chat up Laura the whole time.
all of you with varying degrees of caution round the corner into the lab. You can see that there's one person in here right now, and that person is, as you might expect in a lab, Doc Brown. He looks momentarily surprised to see all of you, but immediately looks relieved that all of the lost League members were able to be rescued. Oh, you're back. That took quite a bit less time than I was expecting.
Stitch immediately kind of lowers his ears and like narrows his eyes and begins to move forward on Mordin's shoulders so that he's kind of protruding out a little bit more and just growls at this guy.
Doc Brown looks at you kind of confused and then looks at the other members of the League, clearly at a loss for Stitch's aggressive behavior.
Demona, where is she?
Demona? Well, I set her in one of the barracks. I managed to patch her up and decided that she needed some bed rest.
We're going to start
We should go
beelining
talk
for
to
there.
her.
Yeah.
Stitch tugs on Mordin's fancy future clothes and kind of gives him a look, and then you can see him kind of move his little eyes toward the doc and then back to Mordin and back to the
Like
doctor.
shift, would you describe it as shiftily?
Some shift involved.
Is Stitch able to like give him a sniff and see if everything's on the up and up?
Does Stitch have
he
enhanced
is-
senses?
Quite convinced. Yes, he does. And he's quite convinced that is not the doctor.
I'm going to find Demona.
All right, Archer's heading off.
I'm just here eating a Lunchable. I honestly am. I could care less about this situation because I've got my journal and my fucking Lunchable.
How did you find a Lunchable so fast?
I have ways with food.
Look, the GM tells you some things, he tells the rest of us other things.
Stitch is gonna clamber back over to Lace and then hand her the egg, which she's gonna take gingerly into her mouth and then like tells her to just go.
Okay, the raptor looks at you doubtfully, but turns and walks off. So that just leaves Mordin and Stitch and Dante eating a Lunchable and Doc Brown in the room. And Doc Brown is...
What about our teammates?
I'll say that they head off with Archer. They're in
Okay.
search of Demona. What do you guys do?
I'm just looking to see what's up with Stitch. I'm kind of trying to not give out a lot of information about what I'm thinking. I'm just kind of pausing and looking at Doc Brown and looking at Stitch and waiting to see what Stitch does and waiting to see what Doc Brown does.
Stitch isn't going to act yet, but he's gonna stay really on guard.
All right.
Like hackles raised.
Doc Brown says, is there something wrong with Demona? Do you need something from the lab? He's, like, obviously very confused about what's going on.
He's gonna look frustratedly back at the doctor and then to Mordin, and then finally say, "Not doctor."
Are you saying that he doesn't have his credentials in order?
Mordin and Dante, if Dante is paying attention, which I leave entirely in your under your discussion list.
I mean, I have to make sure the pepperoni is just perfectly over the cheese.
Yo, I feel you though.
So Mordin, why don't you make an intuition roll with a bonus for insight and an additional +1 column shift?
Can I do that too?
If you feel like you are paying sufficient attention, then you
pepperoni
will.
is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
right.
It's like my popcorn.
If you got your pepperoni game down, then yes.
No, what if that Lunchables pizza is like tea leaf reading, and the cheese just kind of falls and it's like, oh no.
It's a little arrow.
No.
I got a green.
Green as well.
The two of you notice that Doc Brown is reaching behind himself. You can see a very slight crackle of mystical energy from his hand.
I'm gonna cryoblast him.
Okay, roll it.
I got a white.
Okay. He moves with a speed that you would not associate with a man of his age and fitness level and avoids the blast of cold.
Out of my Lunchable, there's like a nasty little section that has a brownie, and so I'm gonna take the brownie and be like, "Catch you old fart!"
That classic Dante line, catch you old fart.
Throw the brownie at him.
Liz, that's ridiculous. There is no Lunchable that came with a pizza and a brownie. The pizzas all came with tiny little candy bars. Everyone knows that.
You have like the weirdest, like, everything memory. Are you actually a human being?
You're totally breaking the realism of this game for me, Liz.
All right, so the brownie hits Doc Brown in the face.
I mean, he loves brownies.
It's in his name.
And,
That was unintentional.
and
Liz, breathe.
as he brings one hand up to brush the chocolate mess off of his face, his posture shifts into something that's much more feral and animalistic. And you see that his form flickers and then seems to melt away altogether, revealing Demona.
Dun dun dun.
She glares at the three of you and then mutters something, which sounds eldritch and arcane.
Uh-oh.
Stitch, you're the only one who hasn't acted, so if you wish to do so, you may.
Stitch eats the brownie off Demona's face.
Wait, what?
Stitch is gonna he's gonna like jump and bite her leg, very dog-like.
All right, go for a fighting check.
Yellow,
Nice. Ooh, she did really well too.
right in the knee.
So she brings up her hand as Stitch lunges forward. There's a bright and brief flash of mystical light. When the light clears, Demona has vanished, but Stitch has torn a not inconsiderable chunk out of her leg in the process. So she has teleported away, but wherever she is, she took a big chunk of damage from Stitch.
I assume they bleed. Maybe now she has a
Yeah,
trail.
as we see in gargoyles, they do indeed bleed.
Until they
As we saw in episode
As we
8 of Smash Fiction, they
Indeed.
do indeed bleed.
Indeed. Archer, you and the other members of the League arrive at the barracks, and you find Doc Brown lying unconscious on the ground.
Oh, how'd you get here so fast?
He does not respond, as he is, as mentioned, unconscious.
Oh.
The scene now shifts to later that day. Doc Brown has recovered and talks about how Demona managed to get the drop on him shortly before all of you arrived back from Jurassic Park. Even later that day, Buffy's cell returns to Castle Grayskull, and everyone begins to investigate the book that you found in Jurassic Park. Apparently there's an enchantment placed upon it that makes it unreadable even to people with the translation modules that you all had implanted in your brains. Zelda spends the rest of the night performing an extended and exhaustive ritual over the tome and basically manages to dispel the enchantment. She tells everyone that the tome tells the story of a world called Dominaria. Basically, many millennia ago, Dominaria was invaded by the Phyrexians and nearly conquered. The Dominarians managed to assemble an artifact of tremendous power, and it seemed as though it had destroyed Phyrexia altogether, but the parasitic world was able to reconstitute itself and begin the cycle of conquest all over again, even stronger than it had been before. Later on, a group of exceptionally powerful mages called planeswalkers, who were capable of traveling between worlds, bent their considerable power toward creating a means of destroying Phyrexia permanently. This took the form of 5 different gems, each one representing a different type of magic, which were then scattered to different worlds. If the gems were brought together, they could be used to cleanse the multiverse of Phyrexia's evil. This is clearly what the Phyrexians sought to find in the world of Jurassic Park. This is what you have found, and it seems like this may be a way for you to succeed in your goal of ridding the multiverse of Phyrexia altogether.
Do we know where they are?
There is
anything in the book about that?
There is information in the book about what worlds these gems were scattered to. They do not correspond directly to the coordinate system that Doc Brown has established for the worlds, but based on some initial scouting that the League has done to many worlds, you may be able to pinpoint which ones they were sent to.
So, in other words, I smell a fetch quest.
Extraordinary League is produced by Miles Schneiderman, with logo design by Colin Mulkerin.
Special thanks to Kevin MacLeod for our theme song, which is called Motherload. You can find his works at www.incompetech.com.
You can follow the Smash Fiction Podcast on Twitter at SmashFicPodcast and search for us on Facebook and Tumblr.
Subscribe on iTunes, and if you leave us a good review, we shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other contributions, send them to us at smashfictionpodcast@gmail.com and help us continue the fight.
I would like to take a moment to pause and say, Kit, please stop being so noisy with your Cheeto bag.
You should have let me finish before we started. Why didn't you ask if I was finished?
We had 25 minutes of production meeting.
I was almost finished. I can't just leave those crumbs there. Anyway, go on.
You were going after the crumbs.
That's the best.
The crumbs
That's
in the bag.
Best part, Miles.